So for those who have not joined for a stream before, just to
Sorry,
go
sorry.
over some of the
Ryan,
stuff
wait
that
a
we have
second.
on the HUD here.
I gotta start again. We have to start again.
What did you do?
Of course we do. Of course we do. There's always one
So
button
for
we gotta
those who
press.
have
Anyway,
not joined for a
kicking
stream
that all
before,
around again, and I guess we
just to
can.
go over
The
some
joke
of the
is that
stuff
welcome
that we have on the
to
HUD here.
another Skytear stream, and we have.
What did you do?
Of course we do. Of course we do. There's always one button. Oh, and I have echoes too. Sorry. Okay, sorry everyone. Now that we've got that little technical difficulty out, we can have our own deja vu moment for Ryan and I, as I've messed up at the start of the screen. But welcome to the finals of the September North American Clash between Clinton and Michael. And I have uh, Ryan along here to share us all his knowledge and insight while the game is progressing. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me here, and it's a pleasure to be here to finally figure out who the best Skytear player from 2 months ago is. And I've been waiting 2 months to figure out who the best player 2 months ago was.
Absolutely. The one big decision that's going on in the world right now: Clinton or
Yeah,
Michael, best in North America.
yeah, absolutely. It's not like there's anything else going on in the United States right now.
So if we have anyone along in the chat, and I'll be mentioning it again, just if you can give us feedback on our audio levels, how the stream looks, that type of thing. Please feel free to chime in if there's anything that you know you think could be improved, or if you're not hearing me. Of course, that would be magical if you could answer that question without hearing me, or not hearing Ryan, or the sound levels are not right. Please speak up, because we want this to be as high
Yeah.
quality as possible. We know the gameplay is going to be totally up to snuff, so I'd love it if the stream was of equivalent quality.
Yeah.
We
And
had
if you
a
can't, if you have this problem where you can hear me and you don't like that, make sure to let us know too, so that way
yes,
Shane can turn me off.
thank you. So far, so good. Great. Uh, and so yes, they had the coin flip, um, and it was Clinton who won again? The coin flip. It was Clinton who won, and he opted to go first, correct? And bring in the Dark Vigilante.
Correct. And
Uh,
and I'm gonna go flip the victory conditions over to let the players know that they can get started with drafting while we go over a lot of the features on the stream overlay here that was expertly designed and coded by Tapeworm. Praise be him.
Yay, tapeworm.
Um,
Somehow he does this while answering every single rules question I've ever posted. So.
every growth question anyone's ever posted. It's very important to the community, and we're thankful to have him around.
So I think we see a Kichi hit the field. I know, Ryan, you might have to take this. My on
Yes,
sight of the models is not so
Clinton.
strong.
Yes, Clinton did draft Kichi first. So while they're doing drafting, you'll see along the left side of your screen the heroes that Clinton has. They'll have their little images there. That will be updated once to show the four heroes our players are actually using once they are done drafting. Next to the hero icon, or at the bottom of the hero icon, you will see their hero's HP, and to the left, you will see a number in a circle, which indicates the amount of mana they have left. You will also be able to see any uh, icons that show conditions the heroes have. Above that, you will see a little image of cards and a red number that will indicate the number of cards in Clinton's hand. On the right side of the screen, you will see the exact same thing except Michael's numbers, and the yellow number will be the number of cards in his hand. In the top right corner, you will see a giant number in a circle. That will be the round number. And at the top of the screen, you will see the victory conditions we're using for this game. Back to the draft. After Clinton drafted Kichi, Michael drafted Miyuki and Yami, and then Clinton drafted Yami and Hogosai. Michael then drafted Neliklin and Hogosai, and we are waiting Clinton's final reserve hero.
So what do you think are inside any of these drafting decisions? Do you think that they're maybe going with their set game plan and sticking to it, or do you see some responses between these two players to the other player's draft? You think it's set order, or is there some dynamicism here?
So Clinton's last hero is Sether, but to get to your question there, I have played a lot with Michael, practiced a lot with him, as we are both degenerates. Um, and I can tell you, I don't think I've ever seen him draft Nelliclin as one of his starting heroes. He always brings Nelliclin, but I think I've always seen Nelliclin as his reserve.
That's an
And
interesting point.
I've
Yeah.
always seen him start with Hogosai as one of his starting heroes. So I am actually very interested in this decision to have Hogosai in reserve and instead of Nelliclin.
Hmm. Yeah, let's see how that pans out. I do agree with Gregory that my experience with Clinton is to be stabbed a lot. Um, that his main game plan is killing. But I guess his idea of variety is who he stabs you with, which heroes exactly.
Yes. Clinton, I know he builds a lot of his heroes very specialized and for certain things. And he will draft whatever heroes go for the matchup and what the opponent does. Uh, as a very good player. Both of these players are very good players, and we'll definitely see some high level play from both of them.
And in terms of cards that they bring, I mean, obviously you can't get that all sorted out in your mind right now, but kind of as we wait for the first turns to go forward, maybe you can, if you get a chance to talk about some of the more interesting card selections that are going to come with these heroes, something to look out for, or that might prove either invaluable or wasted in this matchup.
Yeah. So as I mentioned at the beginning, but that might have been the first time when it wasn't working right. So I don't remember if I actually said it, but both of these decks are very high modifiers, low mana cost. So they'll be both be very aggressive. We'll be see a lot of killing, and as for low mana cost cards with high modifiers, we'll definitely be seeing psychic shields from both
Right.
players.
So just sorry to interrupt, jump in there, but we have Yami getting fast somehow. Who would have guessed it? Running through one of Michael's minions, blowing it up. Then she worships onto. There's no red symbol yet. Could be anyone. Let's see. Worships onto Nelliclin. He's nice and squishy as a mage, right? And she has done Yami things. She has gone from one end to the field to the other on her second action.
Yep.
Nelliclin they flip a +2, I believe, there. Now she'll skirmish against Nelliclin for additional damage. Another +2 is flipped, so and then she skirmishes into the dome. So Yami showing exactly how lazy the other heroes are. Look at what she got accomplished in round one. Popped over all the way to the rest of the map, punched Nelliclin a few times, and then skirmished into the dome to give some sort of to give some control there and ask for Michael's response if he wants the Dark Vigilante.
Yeah, definitely. My or Yami is a very strong hero, especially on the Ashen Pass map. She kind of, as I've heard Michael like to say, the Ashen Pass is her playground.
Indeed.
But just to go back a little bit, where you mentioned Yami got fast, that was because Clinton used Time Glitch, which says apply fast to the caster. You may remove a condition from them. Uh, as Yami did not have any conditions, no conditions were removed, but that is how she got fast.
Indeed. So I mean, operate from the other side, or what? Let's see what Mikhael's response is. Oops, there's a big purple finger over one of the faces, but that's bonus
A
content
big
right there.
purple finger over
Yeah,
one of the
I don't
faces.
know why there's a big purple over over one of the characters, but I shan't worry too much about it. I
Um,
think it's one of the
I don't know
players.
why there's a big purple finger. I mean, we have a
Oh,
yellow
it has
player, a
disappeared.
teal player,
Good.
and a red
Yeah, I
player.
know. It's the ghost of Yakimo. Okay, we see much indicating, much thinking,
Yep.
finger thinking by
These
both players.
these players. Oh, and Clinton has been promoted. Um,
Oh, okay, that's good. At least he's got equal. I guess Michael was
oh, and so
impressed
have
enough by
I.
his Yami move that he's been allowed to get promoted within the game and move tokens around and stuff. Okay, so the activation is going to go over to Mikhael. It looks like, yeah, we have Nellicon with the mark.
You think we'll see a similar Yami play from him?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Kichi's an equally, although it's on the opposite side, so I don't know if it's as easy to do. You have that one extra hex. But no, you can still do it, I
No,
guess.
I guess I'll do it. Yeah.
And Kichi's, yeah, an equally juicy target, I think. Um, Now,
He does need to have the fast to do that, though, if he
do you think
does
this
not
will be
have
the
the time glitch in hand.
classic win condition for these players will be shooting for here of just killing everyone in sight? Or you think that somebody will be setting up double kill or tamer?
That's a good point. We never talked about our victory conditions. So our victory conditions are the Tamer, which is defeat 2 enemy heroes using an outsider. It can be either outsider. It doesn't have to be both in the same outsider. It can be one from each or two from one of them at any point during the game over any number of activations. And double kill, defeat 2 enemy heroes within the duration of a single hero activation. Both of these victory conditions definitely require a lot of setup. You got to get a hero at least decently low to kill them with an outsider, and you have to get 2 heroes pretty low to kill 2 in a single activation. So they're not the easiest. I think it's possible that we'll see a double kill or tamer, but
there are some
I
ultimates in
don't
both
think.
lists that could come into play, right? Like Yami's reaction, Hokusai's supernova. I'll
Ooh,
admit
this
I
is
don't know what
weird.
Kichi's is.
We're seeing Miyuki go fast instead of Yami.
Huh. I guess she's had enough of being uh, in the shadow. He wants to go fast too. Let's see. So she's heading, okay, all the way up there. Uh, Interesting. Because she's not arranged to mark anyone. So the fast so far hasn't been beneficial. Was it a fast with time glitch or a fast with uh, the one that lets you draw a card? That's the name is skipping.
Time glitch. I
Oh,
don't
it's time
believe either of
glitch.
these
Okay,
players run swiftness because swiftness is a +1 and they want +2s.
twos. So I was just wondering if it was for the cantrip, but I guess it wasn't to draw the extra
Right.
card. Okay, and then we see a skirmish and a warship. Hmm, interesting. I guess that
Yep.
position. Do you see why that position's interesting? Because a move skirmish will get you almost the same place, right? The fast only really got you one more square.
Well, it allowed him to worship on Hogosai. The Hogo, which does give Hogosai slow,
Yes. Yep.
which actually with a move and a skirmish with Hogosai being slow will prevent Hogosai from getting into that dome.
Right. And yes, because he has to move one more square. Yeah. One more hex square. One
Yeah,
more hex.
these are what squares look like.
Yes, exactly. Six
These
equal
are
sides.
six-sided squares.
Uh,
So I think early on, heroes low, and then if the opportunity presents itself to them, they will go for Tamer. I think double kill will not be either of their early objectives. I think if they kind of fall behind, that will be kind of their fallback option. Like, oh, I'm behind here. This is a way I can kind of squeeze out a win.
mhm. Right. An opportunist kind of approach. That makes sense. They do have some heavy hitting outsiders as well. So that tamer might just come kind of almost organically.
Oh,
These players, the way
absolutely.
the damage lays down. Because I know that certainly Clinton likes to deal out a lot of damage with his outsider.
So does Michael.
Indeed, indeed. Silent Ambassador is a bit trickier, but certainly Dark Vigilante uh, does not really. He's not really subtle in what he's there to do.
No, he is not. I can say the Silent Ambassador can deal just as much damage to zero armor heroes
Oh,
as the Dark
absolutely, yeah.
Vigilante can. But the Dark Vigilante has the added capability to do piercing, but is melee, so it's a little harder to set up.
Indeed, yeah, yeah. Especially with the Silent, but we do have the Silent Ambassador as in Dome 3, so he's going to be less annoying than if the situations are switched, because there'll be no teleporting around of the Dark Vigilante himself, which can cause problems for a melee outsider for sure.
That is a very good point. We see two very high level experienced players taking their time in this game, really thinking things through, making sure they make the right plays.
Indeed, yeah. Ashen Pass things happen fast, especially with these types of decks. And yeah, you don't want to give up any sort of advantage first turn. I don't know if you were listening to Smeal's deck tech on Ashen Pass, but He's definitely into second turn being the most important in an Ashen passes game, which I definitely believe him. He's a better player than I am, but certainly both first and second turns are super important to get right.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have a good first and second turn, it's possible you don't even get to turn 3.
Mm-hmm. And this is.
I think it does depend on the deck and your strategy, though. I think between whether the first or second turn is the most important.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's one of those two, no matter what your strategy is.
Right. Right.
On the 2-lane map, I think turn 3 is the most important in most games. It does depend on the victory conditions a little bit, but in most games, it's turn 3.
I agree with
the
you.
The ultimates are just so much more valuable. You get the sinkholes and stuff there as well.
Yeah, a lot of the very
so much happens on turn 3.
Game-changing cards can come out, at least in force, on turn 3.
Correct.
So I think both, I mean, as far as I can tell from playing both these guys on Ashen Pass at various times, do you think anyone will really care that much about the center? I mean, the added nexus pressure is nice, but my guess will be they'll be very heavily invested in the domes here.
I 100% agree with that. Probably each of them focus a little more on their own domes. So Michael on Dome 3 with the Silent Ambassador, and Clinton on Dome 2 with the Dark Vigilante.
So it wouldn't surprise me for this one Yami move to through the minion to, although I suspect there'll be a opposite Yami move at some point, but to, if not answered, to snowball, like maybe into turn 3 type of thing, like that one minion could start adding up over the course of this game, as a lot of attacks will go to heroes and not to minions, etc. Oh, did you disconnect from the game, Ryan?
I believe I'm still here.
Oh, you're still here. Okay, I just don't see you on the player list, but.
Oh no, now I'm disconnected.
Now you're just. I can see the future. I can predict.
If anybody has seen me play or commentate games before, you know me disconnecting is nothing out of the ordinary.
But only from TTS. I hardly ever hear you disconnect from voice, strangely.
Actually, before we got started here, there was one point where our Discord just randomly decided to just crash, which was weird. But I was only gone for about 10 seconds.
So Clinton is really on the tank on this one. I guess that Miku move was surprising. Like, as we thought there might be a Yami answer. Miyuki.
Yeah, that definitely was not a move you see often. I think that kind of surprised him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, with my pronunciation, you're lucky I'm not saying the red one with the stick, stuff like that.
I mean, that would be very useful to people who don't know the hero names.
Indeed, yeah.
If we have any players, anyone new to Skytear here, say the red one with the stick, that would.
I'll call him Lefty. This guy's Buddy.
Oh my God, I'm having.
Oh, okay. So we see Hokusai activating. He plays Clear Mind to clear the slow. Which means.
Okay, I need to actually go disconnect myself here.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll hold down the fort as well as I'm able. Till then.
I was trying to tint the Dark Vigilante, and I have a giant color thing blocking my screen. So I'm going to go disconnect myself this time.
The Dark Vigilante is vengeful in that way. Okay, so Hokusai looks like he's on a move. He's used a Clear Mind, which is a card that not only gives you +1 in your attacks, but lets you remove a condition. In this case, the slow that was applied by Miyuki's mark. He moves up close to Dome 3. Are we going to see a skirmish and an attack, a skirmish and a lead? We will see a skirmish of some kind. Yes, skirmishes into the dome. I'm going to flip on Miyuki. I'll say it while Ryan can't hear me. And
I can hear you.
Darn it. For 1 damage. 1 damage.
I disconnected from TTS.
But there is...
not from Discord.
I can fix that. Does he drop the discharge? Yeah, that would have been interesting, because that's a good point, George, because playing the clear mine definitely gave signal that he wanted to move into the dome. So if there was a discharge in hand, it would have been possibly a good time to play it. Although Hokusai might not be the best target for that, given his armor. And then we see lead.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know about that because Nelliklin does have piercing, and Hokusai does hurt himself a little bit.
You're right.
Hokusai dies a lot faster than the other tanks, in my
That's true.
experience.
That's true. And I found that red players are very arrogant about Hokusai and him not dying, so you can catch him off by surprise.
You can't kill my Hokusai.
That's exactly. Look at him. 2 armor. 2 armor. It's such a big number. If anyone's going to kill a Hokusai, I'm going to kill Hokusai.
3 normally.
So yes, there was resulted in no damage on the skirmish because of the armor, and now we have a lead. So, both these decks, I don't think either one of them holds very high modifiers, very high mana cost cards. Not very many of them. So could be a bluff on either player's part, but we normally assume that's a 3 lead in both. So we could have a tie. We currently have a tie in Dome 3 by our best guess.
So Miyuki did not lead. She moved skirmish and marked.
Oh, marked. Sorry.
Hokusai led from deck, which, from Clinton's experience, is probably about
he led from deck.
Chance that's a 0, right?
0, yeah. I mean, not from the deck, but from what we've seen of Clinton's luck. So apologies. Yeah, Miyuki did not lead. So yeah. So currently, there's a decent chance that Clinton has control of that dome.
Oh my God. This is frustrating me. This Dark Vigilante does not seem to want to be tinted.
Well, he's dark and brooding. Leave him alone. He's just sitting there waiting. Batman-esque. To pounce on somebody. Okay, so we see Nelliklin. Nelliklin has moved and skirmished, so he's skirmishing into the dome. So the answer, so we have quite a fight for dome number 3 at this point. 2 yellow heroes versus Hokusai. Hokusai takes a point of damage off the skirmish, piercing, and there must have been a Skytear discharge played? Sorry, did I?
Yes, there was a Skytear discharge played by Kichi.
Yeah, so the names of cards played flash across the screen, as people have probably noticed, and sometimes they're a bit quick, or maybe I'm just not paying attention sometimes. But yes, so Nelliklin takes the larger of that damage, and then now we see an attack.
Yeah. So for those who aren't aware, we missed, by the way, Hokusai played a clear mine. Caster gets +1 attack, and you may remove 1 condition from the caster.
Yeah.
That was how Hokusai
got into the dome in the first place.
Was able to get into the dome.
Yep.
Kichi used Skytear Discharge, which says when a hero moves through a white line, deal 2+ card damage or 2+ a flip damage to them.
It's one of the really high impact.
That was how Nelliklin got hurt there.
Right. So we see a flip of a +1 on the piercing damage from Nelliklin. So Hokusai is now down to 12.
Yep, and Nelliklin at 6.
Oh, sorry, Joseph. That's not any sort of complaint on our part at all. It's more of my attention span than it is on the actual overlay.
I do think the cards played, actually, it would be nice if those maybe we're a little bit bigger and maybe could be seen a little bit longer too. That'd probably be useful for future streams.
Maybe if they could say it in like a wrestling announcer voice when somebody plays it.
Skytear Discharge.
Exactly, with some echo. Yeah, Nelliklin being at 6, I mean, we knew he was going to get there from his relatively low hit points and armor, but it's coming pretty quick. We still have a Kichi activation, although it wouldn't be that easy for Kichi to attack him.
Yeah, and I'm going to just get rid of these heroes that aren't being used. We don't have a Tlakali and we don't have an Egret.
Mm-hmm.
Back to what I was saying before the game, though, how Michael, I've always seen him use Nelliklin as the reserve. We're seeing here why he does that normally. It's because Nelliklin does so much damage with, especially on turn 3, with like Rampant Hatred and such, and being able to refresh the mana is, on turn 1, if you are able to replenish your mana, you get 1 more mana, while on turn 3, if you do that, you get 3 more mana. So Nelliklin becomes a lot more valuable as the game goes on. But we're seeing here, by Nelliklin starting early, that, he's at 6.
Indeed. Yeah, he's at 6. And there's 2 heroes in Dome 3 with no lead. So Hokusai, I mean, could have had a lucky lead from deck to beat them both currently.
Yeah, that's true. What did I'm actually surprised Nelakin went for an attack instead of a lead. I would think that he would do a lead and then send Yami over into Dome 2 to try and take Dome 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he has a 3 in hand. Um, I've definitely seen Clinton in the past have 3 heroes in Dome 2 and lose the Dome.
Absolutely, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
due to leading with a 0.
Yeah, and Mikhael has second player advantage in this case. I mean, doesn't have the Skytear flux, which is very important, but he can sort of choose which dome he wants to win, basically, right? By what Clinton
Right.
chooses to do.
Exactly. But if he had put had led with Nelaquin, he would actually Michael would be in a position where he could
Win them
have a
both.
chance to win both domes.
Right. I mean, maybe he's just banking on Clinton's bad lead from the deck luck. Maybe that's a psychic shield on Hokusai.
Yeah, maybe he's so. Let's see. Kichi's can move into Dome 2 and lead. He did go from a hand here, so maybe Michael just plays it safe and goes to Dome 3, or maybe he's gonna call Clinton's bluff. I think that's unlikely though. If he goes to try and call bluffs and it actually is a 3, he could lose both domes. That
Yeah.
does not seem like a good risk. I think he just takes Dome 3.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it. I mean, the only upside for you there is with Clinton's deck, I believe that that's an ultimate that it won't be played on you in 2 turns. Because I don't think he
I
has any
actually
other 3
do.
manas.
Yeah, I actually do think this is a very good time for Clinton to bluff though,
Mm-hmm.
because if Michael tries to go and take the dome, trying to calling a bluff there, he has the potential to lose both domes. So I think it's very unlikely Michael does that. So I think that actually, if we see I would not be surprised if that's a 0 or a 1 from Clinton.
Right. So is Mikhael thinking it all out? Is he going to go against the Sicilian when a dome's on the line? Is the question. So the um,
I like the
Yami activate
reference.
with a fast. There must have been one played that I missed, unless it was a move skirmish. No, there must have been a time glitch of her own played. Goes through a minion, equalizing the minions in the center. We see a skirmish. Okay, back into Dome 3 to make sure she's got that one, and a lead. And did she flip on Nella Clen? Not Nella Clen, sorry. No, she didn't flip on anyone because she couldn't actually see them to hit them. It was just strictly for the movement, 2 movement points. Okay, so we have a loaded up Dome 3 at the end of the turn. Minions equalize in the center, so we'll just call that a push and spawn a bunch more minions to hang around there. And then we'll eagerly await this flip from Hokusai to see if he's going to be a hero or a goat. Well, hero,
And
can't really blame him.
we'll
One versus 3.
we'll eagerly await to see if I can manage to get back into the game.
Oh, well. Kichi led with a 3, so Kichi in fact did lead with a 3. So trying to challenge there would have been a mistake for Michael. Wasn't a bluff. Hokusai led with a 1, which would have tied unless Yami popped into the. So we do have Dome 2 going to Clinton and Dome 3 going to Michael. So each got their own outsider that they brought. So we see the Dark Vigilante spawning first. Sorry, I've suddenly forgot his spawn rules foolishly. Oh, why can't I? Yeah, Jason to Tower Nexus. Yes, which is one of his downsides because sometimes he can be quite out of the play. But in this case, it's early, so he gets to spawn where he wants, close to the action. And then the Silent Ambassador has to spawn adjacent to his dome. Oops, sorry, everybody.
By the way, on that particular disconnect right there, as I got disconnected, I had like 5 different error messages pop up at the same time. It was very interesting.
So we see the Dark Vigilante start off. He is going to skirmish and obliterate a minion. And then he's going to... Wait a second. What was the... He's going to attack a minion. Oh, sorry. He's using his actions. The Dark Vigilante has multiple skirmish actions, each of which give him a special ability. So Dark Vigilante, I guess because of the way that there's this gigantic wall of people here blocking entry into this dome where the Dark Vigilante would like to do a lot of punching, I would imagine. He's kind of been pushed into, I would say, a non-standard usage of the Dark Vigilante to clean minions. effectively, though, killed 3 minions. That is an excellent minion cleaning outsider, actually. Um, now we see the Silent Ambassador. Wait a second.
Yeah, that was actually very well played on Michael's part to block off that
The entire
dome barrier
dome.
to
Yeah, that was
prevent the Dark
interesting play.
Vigilante from
Entering.
to prevent the Dark Vigilante from getting in. Yeah.
So now we're seeing the swap from the Silent Ambassador.
Yeah, we saw the swap.
So the Silent Ambassador is allowed to take a target hero within 3 hexes and swap it with a hero within 4 hexes. So it can make a fairly large change to the battlefield. Looks like we're also seeing... I haven't seen any slow tokens go down yet, so I don't think it's Stone's Edge. Could be an attack.
Is he planning to just build up an entire barrier along this dome into next round?
Oh, we see a Supernova flipped for Michael.
Keep that back.
And we see the Dark Vigilante taking a hefty beating.
So, okay, Michael has a very interesting strategy this game, and I actually really like the strategy. So, if an outsider is defeated, they do not come back. So I think he is planning here to have the Dark Vigilante trapped in the dome and prevent Clinton from getting into the dome with his heroes or the Dark Vigilante, and he's just going to take out the Dark Vigilante, and then he doesn't need to worry about the Dark Vigilante or Dome 2 for the rest of the game. I have never seen anyone use
I've never seen
before.
This. I am eager to see if it works. I think there's going to be a lot of Nexus pressure coming his way, even if he's allowed to pull that off, which would be super cool. But the center is now 4-1, so I don't think his heroes can stay.
This is a very interesting strategy that I've never seen before.
We're seeing like a whole new gambit that's going to be written up in the history books.
This is awesome. This is awesome. So anyway, just to go over the outsiders' actions that they can do. The Dark Vigilante has Sever, which gives the Dark Vigilante +1 skirmish damage, and they take a skirmish action. Skewer, which gives the Dark Vigilante piercing, and they take a skirmish action. And Slash, which allows the skirmish actions to hit minions, and then takes a skirmish action. The Silent Ambassador has Wormhole, which allows him to swap target hero's position with any other hero's position within 4 hexes and Silent Ambassador. So swap 2 heroes. Farsight, predict 2. Pretty straightforward. And Stone Storm places a 4 hex AoE within 2 hexes and deals 1+ a card damage and applies slow to all enemy heroes hit. But anyway, we are into round 2 right now. I'm going to go move that round marker.
Did the Stone Storm hit Hogosai? Or was there no Stone Storm that time?
I don't know if he did Stone Storm, because otherwise the Dark Vigilante would be slow.
Yeah, or somebody would be slow. So it was a swap, attack, and a predict, maybe? I'm just trying to figure out what that third one was.
Might have been, I think it was probably a predict. Yeah,
okay, so back to the round 2 action. We have Yami making her move. So she has skirmished for the movement, and then she's moved through a minion using her passive ability to destroy that minion. Now we have 6-0 in the lane. Now there won't be any Nexus damage from this, but it certainly looks like it's a pretty foregone conclusion that control point is moving very close to Michael's Nexus. Yami will finish up, do a worship on Nelliclin.
Yeah, I was interested to see if he would try and hop into the lane with the worship to set up for an attack on Nelliclin, or if he was going to say, that looks like a scary place to be, and decide not to. And it looks like that's what he did. He's just going to stay outside the dome, play it a little safe.
Yeah, and that is an interesting point. Like, even though you're building up the wall, and with the old rules for marking, it would have been quite effective, but the new rules for marking, I can do plenty of damage to Nelliclin without seeing him by Hogosai and Yami, correct?
That is correct.
So Yami finishes up a turn with Worship, doing an additional 3 damage on Nelliclin.
You know, I'm wondering if, well, we already saw it flip, but I'm wondering if the reason Michael decided to go, if Michael was kind of planning the strategy from the beginning, and he brought Hogosai as his reserve hero, to bring in as the last hero, so he could have make sure Hokusai is alive to do like a supernova on turn 3
Right.
to
Yes.
kind of clear up and defend his nexus. But
unfortunately, we saw the
did see the supernova
flipped. Yep.
Yep.
And that is
But
always.
I'm wondering if that was part of the strategy.
It is. I could totally see it. It would make a lot of sense. I mean, that supernova is very powerful on Edge Pass, especially when you're behind. We saw that in at least a game I was watching on the channel a little earlier. We saw supernova really turn the game around. But given how many cards these decks flip, then it's a risky strategy, right? Because they're mostly not in hand, the cards that are being flipped.
Commander had said to Michael, by the way, if you kill the DV, I will love you forever.
Well, then forget North American championships.
And Michael said, "Oh, it's gonna happen this game." So Michael is 100% planning on take out that Dark Vigilante. That'll be fun to see. I don't think I've seen outsiders take damage and get pretty close to losing or getting dying. I may have seen one actually die as like a final kill for like onslaught or something, or as part of a double kill. I don't think I've ever actually seen a game progress after an outsider is defeated. So this will be a very fun experience, not just for me but for everyone, except for maybe Clinton. No, he's playing Skytear. Of course, he's having fun.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe he's just going for the psychological factor because he knows Clinton loves the Dark Vigilante so much. Maybe it'll just be like your opponent cannot continue if he loses the Dark Vigilante. So we'll see where Michael's strategy goes from here as he's going to respond to this Yang move. Now, he has an Eliklan that is just in danger zone territory. I think a Hokusai Mark has a good chance of killing him. So do you activate Eliklan here, or you just let him go and let Hokusai come in unexhausted?
It's a good question. What I want to check. What does Michael have any cards he can use to keep his Eliklan alive in response to a Hokusai warship? But he is going to go with Miyuki first, starting with an attack on the Dark Vigilante. I'm going to look up Michael's deck real quick.
So he
check that.
Yep, he flips with +2, subtracting the Dark Vigilante's armor, now down to 9.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has access to any cards that can prevent him from dying to a Hokusai warship. The only thing that would keep him alive is a poor flip.
So is Miyuki gonna maintain that wall, or is there gonna be a break in the wall here? Somebody's gonna blink. And she's gonna step out to try to stave off some of this dome pressure. I mean, certainly, if there's no lead from Clinton and he continues sort of his onslaught, Miyuki with a lead, provides a lot of additional control in the zone.
I think he could potentially leave. Could break up that wall at some point, especially if he knows the Dark Vigilante is gonna die, because then he doesn't have to worry about any shenanigans from the DV, so he can feel safer about breaking that up.
So then we see a warship onto Yami, who's already activated, but I guess that'll stick around for next activation, next turn.
Yep, and that also means if Eliklan dies, Hokusai can get into the action, and Yami will lose that armor.
Indeed, although isn't Hokusai's he loves to kind of mark himself, right, for that damage.
Right, but he could then mark
someone
just
else.
By Hokusai being there, just by Hokusai being within 3.
Exactly.
The armor will be reduced.
Makes sense.
So he could mark Hokusai, for example, with that, and then they would both Hokusai and Yami will have -1 armor. As Hokusai's ability, Radiance, marked enemies in Hokusai's line of sight have -1 armor.
Oh, I see people in chat are conjecturing, I believe, that it'll be a double kill with Hokusai and the Dark Vigilante. Wow, that would be something to see. By Michael
That would
this
be cool.
turn. I, I don't
I
know.
don't
I'd
think
have to
he'll
have a
get it
deck
this
check on
turn.
that one. That would be impressive amounts
I
of
don't think he
damage.
can get that this turn,
No,
but it's possible.
the secret, +5 flips that nobody else knows about. Or
It says, yeah, Hog is gonna murder blast him.
Yeah, and it's interesting, like Brian's pointing out. I mean, it is another avenue to victory here. I know that certainly the game plans for both of these decks, I think, are kill based, but he does have a window to see if he can put a very large amount of Nexus pressure on for turn 3. If it ends up being six minions to 2 on the Nexus, that can be difficult to deal with.
One thing that would really help Melican here would be some heals. Michael had some heals in his deck, but he does not have any of those. Of course, we might be getting a card in the future that would interact interesting with heals.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Well, we do have a spoiler after this if people tune around after the game.
Well, absolutely they should. This is a super fun spoiler coming up. Yeah, I'm just looking at the deck too. He doesn't have redirects either. So yeah, I don't see really anything that could
Yep.
stop
But
this at all.
Clinton does have +1, so it is possible that he doesn't. That he, depends on what he flips.
Absolutely.
Hokusai has 1 unstoppable in his deck.
In Clinton's
Kichi
spooky.
Kichi has 3 Nightmares Incarnates and 2 more unstoppable. So there are 6 cards less than +2 in these set of 4 heroes.
Yes. Yeah, and in Clinton's spooky witchcraft, rainbow witchcraft deck, as it's called, I believe the average modifier is 2.03. So yes, it would have to be definitely a below average flip to get the +1 in.
Yeah, it would have to be one of those 3 unstoppables or 3 Nightmares Incarnates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I do something? Oh, damn it.
Oh no! Tainted game.
That wasn't good.
What happened, Ryan?
I think I accidentally dealt some cards from
when you're
Clinton's
checking
discard.
Oh yeah, that does happen sometimes when you're checking the discard. Get the deals. So I'm sure that we'll get that sorted out pretty quick.
I apologize to everyone for that. That was my mistake. I misclicked. The deal button is directly below the search button on there. I was trying to check the cards in his discard there.
So I believe we're still.
Do you have a card in your hand, by the way?
Oh, do I? Hard to check. Let's zoom out quickly. I'm gray, so I don't think I have a hand actually.
Okay. I didn't think so, but wanted to make sure because if you did, that would mean that you
I
have
don't-
one of these cards.
Yes, I don't really want to affect the game like that.
Yep. All 32 cards are accounted for.
Cool. Okay, so back to our scheduled action here. Miyuki's still got 2 actions to go, I believe. She's had her attack. She's led from hand, it looks like, as well. And maybe
so two of the 6 +1s in Clinton's deck are in his discard. So there's still 4 left in the other 16 cards total.
Okay. Okay, right. So Mayuki had right. She had a mark, a worship, and a lead. Okay, so now it's over to Clinton's um, turn. He's thinking about who he should activate. Does he need to activate Hokusai now to go for that kill? Should Kichi do whatever he's going to do over in that dome? I can't really see him leaving. Um, although I suppose there's no point in him being there if the Dark Vigilante is able to be killed this turn. Yeah, a friend sort of in our local channel for the Toronto area was asking, he played Skytear a few months ago and hadn't played it recently because of our IRL things, was asking about what cards from Ashen Pass ended up getting played, because last time he played there was just a preview. And when we talked about Skytear discharge in the deck, I was quite surprised when I went and refreshed my memory about what came out with out of the Ashes uh, um, deck, that there are a lot of persuasive cards there for a single pack. Like, I'm used to a lot of LCGs that I played before, where you might get one or two cards that are like fitted into decks when a pack comes out, and sometimes you have completely dead packs. But yeah, a lot of good stuff that's played very regularly came out of the Ashes. So hopefully we'll see the same thing with the next set.
Psychic Shield and Skytear Discharge are probably the biggest ones. Stone Barricade, another really big one.
Well, Skytear Drain, you see fairly
Skytear Drain as well. Yep.
Doom, absolutely, yeah. That's an excellent card.
Yeah. We don't really see either of the blue ones, Guide or Overflow, played too often. We don't really see
I've seen Refract.
Mindfulness played much.
Creep in a few times.
I haven't seen Refract much. It gets in there occasionally. But not much. What's the other yellow one that we had?
Well, Exhaustion, right?
Oh, yeah. We see plenty of Exhaustion.
Lots of Exhaustion, yeah. So that's a good, like, half the pack, which made it into regular rotation. So it's one of those ones that, definitely. If a new player came along and said, well, I don't want to buy everything, you'd be like, well, most likely, depending on what you want to play, unless it's all blue all the time, you probably want to pick this up, right?
Yeah, and even if you're playing blue, Skytear Discharge and Psychic Shield could be viable depending on what your deck is trying to do.
That's true. If there's any Netrunner players
as a
out
blue
there,
player, as a blue player, I can tell you I very much enjoy Skytear Discharge.
There's any former Netrunner players out there? It could be the opening moves of Skytear.
Looks like Clinton is still trying to decide what hero he wants to activate here.
I mean, since Michael is...
We were joking before the game about this game takes 18 hours. Clinton said,
don't tell them that. We'll lose all our viewers.
What heroes. It was him still trying to figure out what hero to activate on turn 3 or something. He was saying, you know what? At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Well, I mean, Michael's second, so he can. I mean, Hokusai, he can always leave Nelliclin for as long as possible. So, I mean, really, is there that much opportunity? Is there that much reason to wait and to kill Nelliclin? If that's your plan at all, I suppose you could be trying for a double kill and leaving Nelliclin low, because you get the cards, you get to look at them before you activate your third hero. I mean, this is just my kind of very shallow analysis of sort of when you're thinking of these two heroes. Because I don't think Kichi can react to much of what Michael does. He's so far away.
Oh. Julius joined. Hi, Julius.
Hi, Julius.
He's watching the game on the inside.
Oh, wow. How did he crack the code? Anyway. Hopefully, I mean...
I mean... Well, I don't want to say it because then we might get 20 other people coming in here.
No, definitely no. I definitely don't say it. Absolutely not. I just do we know this person? Should we tell them about the stream? They could come there. They can chat with our very active chat, which I'm very happy about. I love to see people chatting.
I know him.
you might want to let him know. I just don't want it to affect the game in any way.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
Mhm.
He's a cool guy.
No, not
We
so
like you,
much
Julius.
that. I just mean the additional like TTS load. Sometimes happens.
Oh, I mean, if anyone's gonna disconnect, it'll be me.
It'll
So
be
it's fine.
you. Yes, I know. You're just barely hanging on by a thread, so. Okay, sorry. We have Kichi. He's going to move. He's going to attack. Sorry, no, this can't be. I don't quite understand.
And he left.
Oh, indeed. This was so we had a Kichi activation. He moved, he led, and then it's showing attack. I suppose if you just don't have a third move, and there's like no one to mark and whatnot, you can just fall back to the default if you're kind of basically skipping your third action. So Kichi has moved into the cover hex in the dome number 2. It's a little hard to tell sometimes, but it's a cover hex. Actually, I didn't know that from my first like 4 or 5 games of Ashen Pass. Okay, we see Yami now reacting for Mikhael. She marks the Dark Vigilante. Skirmishes up, hits him for 1 damage. On the flip through his 1 armor. There's no Hokusai to reduce that.
Not yet.
Not. Yami plays a Clear Mind. Not removing any condition just to get the +1. Flips an Exhaustion. So that would be 4 damage, I guess, minus armor 3. Dark Vigilante's now down to 5.
What did Kichi do? Just sit there and lead and pass?
He moved, led, and attacked the tree. So he went into the bush and then beat it up.
Gotcha.
And lastly, we see a skirmish from Yami for an additional chip damage. So that was a classic Yami move. She teleported up, did some whirling dervish stuff, and then somehow got right back to the exact same position she was.
Yeah, unfortunately for Mikhael, if he's gonna try and get a tamer kill with the Dark Vigilante, he's gonna have to let the Dark Vigilante get a single activation.
Yes, because he's coming out of Dome 2. That's right.
And if he's gonna let the Dark Vigilante, if he's gonna just kill it beforehand, then he's using all of his resources on killing a hero, which doesn't actually get him any closer to any win condition.
To his win condition. Yeah, I mean, this will definitely be an interesting thing to talk about, whichever way this goes afterward the game, because
absolutely.
Dark Vigilante is a 19 health, 1 armor hero, so much more resilient than any of the other heroes on Clinton's side. Oh, that's okay, Julio.
Yeah. Welcome to the stream, Julius. Thanks for tuning in. Meanwhile, I'm gonna have to get reconnected because I got disconnected yet again.
I mean, I think it's Greg. I think it's. I mean, it's almost a certainty that. Well, not certainty. Sorry, as we talked about all the +1, +2 stuff, but it looks like we have a worship Hokusai, so Nelliclem does in fact die. To that, Hokusai does come down to 7 as a result of it, which leaves him somewhat vulnerable to the Hokusai that will be spawning onto the field with an activation. But that's only the first action, so we'll see what Hokusai does after this. And of course, there is still the 4 minions for 2-0 sitting in the lane itself, kind of ominously. Nothing is going to be doing too terrible this turn, but will become 6-2 next turn. It's jammed up against the Nexus. So
I want to be a color.
Oh my Ryan is starting to take TTS's bias against him personally, which, to be honest, TTS does have a personal bias against him. But
I got disconnected again.
Okay, so Hokusai has first move worship, so he's going to skirmish. He looks like he's going to head inside the dome because that was the promised land. It's been blocked up for so long against Glisten. He just wants to see the inside. Wait, he's attacking the Dark Vigilante? interesting. So Hokusai flips against the Dark Vigilante and takes the Dark Vigilante down to 3 damage. So now we have both players attacking the Dark Vigilante.
Was that the worship action?
No, it was the skirmish. And now we have an attack on the Dark Vigilante from Clinton's Hokusai. I did not expect this.
Wait, how is he able to see the Dark Vigil? I guess it would help if I was actually looking at the
Yeah,
game.
no, he skirmished into the dome. So he killed Neliklim with a worship action. Then he skirmished into the dome.
He killed Nalakan first.
And
Got it.
he
Okay.
flipped a 3. So the Dark Vigilante was killed by Clinton, who gave a double
Was
kill.
that game? That's game.
That's game.
Double kill.
Oh, of course. Boy, I was way behind there. We were just talking about double kill from Michael. And then Clinton brought the Dark Vigilante down close enough. So, Michael did. So Clinton just decided, hey, I like your thinking. I'll steal it.
Yeah. When I was disconnected for the exciting end right there.
Yes, you did miss out. So let's make sure we don't get either of these players leaving, and we get the chance to talk to them. Plus, don't go anywhere. We have our spoiler. Do you want to do that first, or talk to the players first?
Gotta reclaim some life back into this game here.
Okay, let me jump over to their game.
Could activate with. Hello.
Hi guys.
Yeah,
just coming in to get to your guys' post-game discussion and comments, and very exciting ending there. Very surprising.
So the first thing I will say is I didn't know hunting for power could be on Ashen Pass.
Absolutely.
I did not know that hunting power could be on Ashen Pass.
You don't get to draw the cards, but it's essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of discussion about Michael's potential or lack thereof of a double kill, but then Clinton obviously saw his own strong potential for the double kill there.
Yeah, I had to waste some time with Kichi. I couldn't leave the dome either, just so that if he didn't die, then he has 2 outsiders and both could get tamer kills or something. So I had to it felt like I wasted a turn with Kichi, but I had to because I had a couple cards in hand, and my odds of killing Nelaquin, I only had 1 card left in the deck that wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, absolutely. We were counting. That's why that weird draw.
I had 3 ones in hand.
Yeah, we were saying the Kichi.
How many +1s you had, and I decided to deal everyone some cards from your discard.
So if anyone in the chat has any particular questions or comments to these players, please post it, and we will convey it to them.
I think it was an exciting match. It was like I think anybody watching this is not what people expected.
No.
Like this did not play out any bit like any of us.
I did not expect that.
I didn't expect the Great Wall in Dome 3 there.
It was awesome play.
And Michael, what with the Dark Vigilante, did you just really, really take offense at something he said to you earlier, or what was the game plan around you hitting the Dark Vigilante? I guess, were you going for some sort of double kill, or you just wanted to waste the dome control, or?
Yeah, so that was the idea. There was I pull Dark Vigilante in, I make him real sad, and then Dome 2 doesn't matter anymore, and I can kind of force Clinton in 1 hero at a time and just murderize him. Didn't pan out that way. I 100% should have not done what I did with Yami, and forced him to either kill Nelaquin and try to lead in the dome, or kill Nelaquin and go for the kill on the Dark Vigilante and fail. Didn't work out, but yeah, no. I've never seen the Dark Vigilante die in Ashen Pass, so it was a fun thing, and I figured the finals of the September American September clash was the right place for that.
Right. So we have a few questions from the. Oh, go ahead, and then
Well, the one thing I was going to say is I think some people might have PTSD from my Dark Vigilante attacks, and so maybe there was a little bit of rage to get going against him.
That's true. Or we thought you'd just curl up in a ball if the Dark Vigilante died, and then the game would be over.
Yeah.
So Emergency 9 asks Michael about your Miyuki first pick. What were you thinking there when you picked her first?
So I didn't want to bring Hokusai in on the chance that he brings 3 mages, and then Hokusai not only gets murder stomped, but also doesn't really contribute a whole bunch of value there. If he doesn't go 3 mages, then I can still bring Hokusai and whoever else I need to. If he does, then I don't need to bring Hokusai on the front end, or I don't need to bring Hokusai at all. I can just bring Armor Bros and or not Armor Bros, but like not Armor Bros, and and yeah.
And Nade asks, if that's how you pronounce it, to both you guys. So, first hero in the dome corner, is that just like, do you guys consider that sort of one of the standard openings now for Ashen Pass?
I think it's a Yami opening. Anybody that's probably like played me or like watched my matches, like I mean on the last stream, like RG called it out. Like if she starts center, you can do that opener and do at least a skirmish and a worship, a skirmish, and get into that spot. The other thing that's nice about it is it does open up the opportunity to make it where the players have to like almost telegraph if they're going into the dome or not, so that if you do have Skytear discharge, you can determine if you want to use it or not.
Right.
Where if you stay out of that spot, they can move right into there, and you don't know if they're going to come in yet.
Okay, interesting. Gregory had a question/accusation, so that for Michael, where he said, "Why do you deviate from the plan we built and bring Nelly in instead of on reserve?" We were asking the same thing on stream. Why Nelly's a classic 4th hero, right? In Ashen Pass.
Yes. Yeah, Nelliclin's the classic 4th hero, and that sounds like I guess his name's Gregory. Is that Game Slayer?
I think that's RG, isn't it?
No, that's Commander.
Yeah,
We talked about this like a day or 2 ago.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh, well,
Anyway.
then I missed it. I don't know. I've been so stressed out over the last 48 hours. I felt like halfway through the game I was just poking around, maybe trying to do something crazy.
Oh, so the degenerates have real communication problems. You heard it here first. There's the scoops on that team. They need to go to like an off-site team building exercise or something to get that straightened out.
All right. We have plenty of issues, and our communication is just one of them.
So the reason I deviated from the plan of I guess Hokusai Yami first was as I outlined. I didn't want to bring Hokusai into a triple mage matchup and just watch him get murdered. And that would have made me sad. It would have made you sad. It would have made everyone sad. And instead, Hokusai didn't get murder stomped. Nelliclin did.
More standard.
Where credit's due, I definitely, when you pulled him out, I was kind of like surprised, and it made me like caution about a lot of my moves, because I didn't know what Nelliclin was packing and like what he was bringing to the table. So definitely it threw me a little bit off. I expected you to probably bring the Yami, Miyuki, and Hokusai, but I wasn't expecting the Nelliclin. So that was cool. And then your opening play was also very threw me off as well. I did call the double time glitch though.
Yes, you did. I needed to burn that time glitch though in order to make it so that Hokusai either had to give up a clear mind or not be able to make it into either dome.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a good play.
Ryan, about the spoiler. Oh, go ahead. You have another question?
A few more questions. First of all, continuing on the question about the Nelliclin. So you said you didn't draft Hokusai first because of that, but why didn't you draft Hokusai third and make Nelliclin reserve at that point? Like, why didn't you start with Yami, Miyuki and then go Hokusai and then Nelliclin?
So at the point that he at that point he'd already drafted Yami, Kichi, and Hokusai, right? So I felt that with the heroes that he had drafted, Nelliclin was a better front line than Hokusai, because Nelliclin could pierce through the armor as well, but also wasn't in hindsight, it was probably a better idea to bring Hokusai. I'll grant that. I'll chalk it up to an 8:30 game after 48 hours of very little sleep.
And I did have one more question too, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, I don't remember. I guess I might have been. Were you planning from? Oh, I remember. Sorry. You were talking about how you had kind of planned you were going to take the Dark Vigilante out and make Dome 2 pretty much worthless, and then have him as he brings in one hero at a time, just take him out one at a time. Did you have a plan to stop Nexus destruction?
No, I did not.
Hokusai's ultimate, it always stops it.
Zero. Yeah, no, it really does. I had zero plans to stop Nexus destruction, and what I had hoped was that I was going to be able to stop Clinton from killing the Dark Vigilante, and then do kind of what he said and run into the Dome, claim both of them, snag a couple tamer kills, or at the very least kill off several minions. And then at that point, Hokusai would be out in play, making people miserable as well. Oh, you disconnected again.
Of course I did.
So Brandy was asking Clinton, why Kichi in particular? Is any card choice or something, or is his ability, or was he just, he was eager that day?
It was his ability is why I brought him. I usually like Sethru in that spot. I'll be honest, I've been like reviewing my previous matches and stuff like that, and doing some analysis of my own matches. I have a tendency not to use his worship that much. So bringing Kichi allowed for me to use a worship that might be a little bit more beneficial, being able to get some predictions. I never got to do it, but the idea was to be able to see some predictions, keep the marks on, so that if Hokusai is in, line of sight of the hero, that it could reduce their armor, and then also the heals. A healer too could make the difference. It's almost making a mage who's 14 into a 16 to 17 health character, even if you only get it off on a couple skirmishes.
Right, and you have pretty high modifiers in your deck, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I have 6 ones total. Everything else is 2 or higher.
I was really hoping that Hokusai worship was going to be a 1.
Yeah.
I was really I was hoping really hard.
So my odds on that was 1 out of 12, I think. Or maybe less.
Okay, yeah.
I only had 1 plus 1 in the card. I forget what my deck size was.
Oh, okay.
So
if you don't say never tell me the odds, I don't know.
Yeah, never
at the point where I was checking and dealt cards out, you had 16 cards. I think it was 12 cards left in your deck and 4 in your hand. Out of those 16 cards, there were 4 plus 1s left, and I think you had at least one of them in your hand.
I had 3 in my hand.
You had 3 plus 1s in your hand.
Yeah, I had 2 Unstoppables and a Nightmares Incarnate.
Oh wow. Okay. So very confident.
Yeah, I think you had the double kill there.
Yeah.
Well, it was a classic twist ending. Any more questions for these guys, Ryan, or should we move on to the?
I just want to congratulate Michael on making it to the finals, and congratulations to Clinton on being the September Clash champion.
Thank you.
Only took you 2 months.
Hey, at least I got one though.
Right?
At least I finally got a win, right? That's like a full tournament win, is what I'm saying, I guess.
Yeah.
Something I've been trying to strive for.
Join the club.
Yep.
And then I guess at some point you will be playing. Was it Samuel in the grand finals?
I think so.
So when let us know when that is, and maybe we can stream that and guilt Giacomo to giving us a spoiler for that game. But for now, we have a different spoiler. So if people want to tune into the general chat on the Discord, it is now posted. We have Reclaim Life.
Okay, I'll try to get that up on the stream here. It
is a 1-mana green card.
Oh!
+2 modifier. Reaction.
Make this big. Okay.
The next time target hero would be healed, the caster is healed for the same amount instead. All right,
Tape,
Michael, what's your reaction here?
Tape, please. I need your help. Tell us in the rules chat how this works in relation to a frail like nourish attack?
Okay, so I actually have answers to this already. RG Commander had already talked to Tapeworm about it, and I talked to RG about it. So I can go provide some insight here. So the instead makes it a replacement effect. Frail's ability to damage with heals is also a replacement effect. So it depends on who the active player is. So if I'm the active player and I do a heal damage on your hero on my activation, my replacement effect would take precedence and would turn it into damage, in which case Reclaim Life would not have any effect.
Okay. That's if you were the active player.
Right. Now if I'm healing for damage on your turn, when you're the active player, and you cast Reclaim Life, it will instead make you gain 3 instead of lose 3.
So it's like a green charm. I like it.
I can't wait to see
Yes.
Golbjorn be even sadder with his ultimate than usual on this one.
That's hilarious, actually.
Oh my gosh. Wait, how does that so if Golbjorn goes to play his ultimate and gets Reclaim Lifed, does the difference between full and his current health go onto the caster of Reclaim Life, or like how does that work?
I believe that's how that would work.
Heal him to full HP. Yeah, is that like a placement effect, or is that a heal X effect where X is the difference? Tape, we need help.
But, poor Golbjorn. He didn't really need a nerf, but there you go.
He didn't need a nerf.
Now, some other uses of it.
Cage Soul. Cage Soul. Cage Soul. Totally works. Totally works against Cage Soul.
Now, one other use, if you are actually the frail player, you can use something you could do is, let's say I have a low HP Golbjorn, and my Golbjorn is already shapeshifted, and I want to worship to heal my Golbjorn. I can shapeshift, say, Brilvar, and then use Reclaim Life from Golbjorn to have Golbjorn heal from the worship instead of Brilvar.
Oh, that is interesting.
Another use is, let's say I'm trying to use a Nourish to heal damage with Frail, one of your heroes, and you respawn with a charm. At this point, I would then be healing you for 3, but I can then use Reclaim Life to make it so I heal for 3 instead of you.
But let's be
lots of healing
honest.
Shenanigans.
Clinton didn't look farther down than the +2.
Yeah, I
don't know if he even knows the name of the card.
Oh, +2.
So it reminds me a little bit of almost like Burning Scar, but it's for green.
Yes. Yeah. except it's 1 mana and a +2, and
yes, which is better.
Yeah.
By the way, I like Michael. Just going back a little bit to the post-game commentary, we were talking about the triple mages. Did Clinton's game against me leave an impression on you or something?
I think Clinton's game against you left an impression on everyone. I think triple mage is the boogeyman of the format. Congratulations, Clinton.
I wish it was streamed, to be totally honest with you. It's unfortunate it wasn't. But it's one of those. It's paper, rock, scissors, right? It's paper, right? It can defeat rock like super easy, but against scissors or another aggro deck, it's not going to be able to work or happen. So like I mean, that's one of the things I love about Skytear is like how there's so many opportunities of counters to it, and nothing is just all powerful and always wins. There's definitely decks out there that are strong, and you see them a lot, but there are ways to counter those, and you can do it with, maybe some creative deck building and deck teching, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, sorry for that little bit of a tangent right there.
Oh, no problem.
Shane, do you want to check the chat and see if there's any comments about Reclaim Life from the chat?
Oh, there certainly is quite a few. I've been kind of watching along, and let's see. they also are hoping for dead Golbjarns. No, not really about the card itself. I think you guys covered most of it.
They are also hoping for. Gosh, Corito, have you made an impression on some people with Golbyarn? Do you think maybe?
I mean, what? Has anybody ever seen Feral Vitality cast by anyone other than me?
No, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, yes, you specifically.
I'm pretty sure, like, other people that run Golbyarn just leave that card out.
I actually did run. It's a very strong lead. I actually did win a game with it, a casual game with it the other day too. So it's won me more than one game now, not just the famous.
Well, no longer when Reclaim Life hits the field. Okay, so you mentioned how long you were up. So if you guys have anything up to say before we wrap up, please do. Otherwise, I think we'll bring this very exciting, very successful, in my mind, I had a lot of fun, stream to a close. And I thank everyone for watching, and I thank the players for a really, really interesting game with a very surprising twist.
Definitely. Congratulations again on the game, Clinton. Congratulations on making it to the finals, Michael, and on bringing us the Great Wall of Michael. It will forever be remembered as the Great Wall of Michael, and it will live on in history.
See, I'm the real winner of this game. I get a maneuver named after me.
Awesome.
I would
what
argue that the Yami opener is. Oh, sorry, what?
Would that have been the Berlin Wall?
It did come down, and that's actually wrong region of Olenta, I think.
Oh my!
Oh, probably still in Italy though.
So we've stopped the we started with the historical smack talk. It's always a good place to finish stuff off.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Michael, you are always a great opponent, and like I was sweating this one beforehand, so I appreciate the game. It was awesome. I loved all your opening moves, and I look forward to playing you again.
Yeah, likewise. It's always a fun time.
Okay, bye everyone.
Thanks for listening.